Jim Cerny here at Danbury Arena in the middle of Danbury Hat Tricks training camp, hanging out with goalie Frankie McClendon. Frankie, thanks for a few minutes.
Thanks. Great.
And welcome back this season as well.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back in Danbury.
So, walk me through a decision-making process. You know, you played 7-8 years in this league, and it's not a given that you decide to come back. You know, it's tough playing at this level and making the commitment every year. So what went into your thought process, to make the decision to come back and to make the decision to come back to Danbury?
Well, you know, I knew my body still has it, right? I put a lot of work in the off season. I know over the off season, my mental mindset was the job's not done. That loss to Columbus kind of sat pretty poorly in my mouth, and I knew I wanted to come back to Danbury to finish the job. I know Gordy and Johnny Ruiz, like, they were a big part of that decision too, because we had a core group last year. So I was like really glad to talk with Billy McCreary over the summertime, and I knew Danbury was the spot I wanted to be. I had a great relationship with Voidy, the goaltending coach, with Johnny, Gordy, and a few of the other returners this year. So that just made that decision a lot easier.
Now, you came to camp with Brian Wilson, who also is returning this season. He's now in camp in the SPHL.
Yep.
So, you know, focus is on the veteran guy. You know, you have a couple young kids behind you, but, you know, the focus is on you. And I would assume that kind of would get your juices flowing a little bit. That'd be kind of exciting.
Yeah, and you know, like, everybody wants the opportunity to be the starting goalie in any league. I've been around for 6-7 years now. I've been a starter a couple of times. I lost to the starting job. So, like, last year, for me, playing well towards the end of the season was really a staple point for my career. And I just decided, I was like, hey, if I want to be a starter, I got to put in a lot of work in the off season. You know, I had a great relationship with Billy and Voidy again. So, like, I think that's probably what made a really good decision right there.
You mentioned how the playoffs ended, and you know, you and Johnny, and, you know, there's some kids that have come back from last year's team as well. Have you guys talked about it? Have you revisited that, or is it all you're just looking ahead and you know, it's kind of a clean slate?
No, actually, I'm surprised we haven't really talked about it. I know it's sitting in our minds as soon as the season starts, because it all starts with game one, right? You can win, or you can make the playoffs in October, November, December, right? It's a long season, but that series, I don't think we've talked about it at all. We've watched video of the first period during training camp in day one, I believe we did that with Billy. And we all looked around and were like, well, let's not watch the 5 minutes of the second period. So I think that was the only time we ever mentioned it, but no, I don't think we've talked about it as a group, and I think we shouldn't talk about it as a group either.
As a broader picture, a bigger picture question, because you've been in the league so long, you play for a number of teams in this league, what do you think about the expansion of the league this year and growing number of teams and markets joining the Federal League?
Well, you know, I think it's great, especially in the southern markets as well. You see, then the SP, they have a total of 10 teams, I believe. Our league, we're at 10 right now, but we've added a team in Biloxi, Mississippi, so that kind of helps out the travel with the southern teams. And now we have the new team, Motor City, so that kind of helps out Port Huron, but also Elmira, so that kind of helps out the North Division with us, Watertown, Binghamton. So to see that the league is growing with a number of teams, I think it's really good for hockey, but it's in markets where you don't see hockey like becoming very big, and I think that's a great thing for the league.
Talk to the fans, tell them what it's like to grind through a season at this level of hockey, because the travel, the accommodations, the bus rides, some long bus rides coming up this season. You know, it's not easy. And so how do you know, maintain your focus and your physical conditioning and all that through what is a long grind of a season?
Well, I want to thank our training staff, Amy Schneider, Aaron. They really take care of us during the season when we're banged up with injuries, but the season, it's a long grind. At least this year, there's not a lot of 3-on-3 games. So it's very nice that we'll have a Sunday off here and there. The bus rides, those are the tough times, but you know, that's where you kind of get a tight-knit camaraderie with the guys. You get to know guys that are young rookies, and we have a lot of young rookies this year, so it'll be nice to get to know them. But the travel, it's a grind on our bodies. We just have to try to stay eating healthy, having a lot of fluids in our body, and like we just have to produce on the ice for the fans.
You mentioned a lot of young guys. It's a younger roster than it was a year ago. Does that put an extra pressure, if pressure is not the right word, maybe more responsibility on the shoulders of you and Johnny and Gordy, guys like that?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think it's more responsibility on our shoulders, but also it's a learning curve for them. And we can, I think what I want to say, like, give a little wisdom to them because
Sure.
we've been around in this league for so long, so we can tell them, hey, this is how things happen in a game sometimes. It's not always going to be perfect with officiating. It's not always going to be perfect with some fans getting in your face and rival teams. But we just have to like give off some knowledge to them and like hope that they take that in, right? So so far it's a great group of young guys. Like, we're having fun. We're getting to know them in the locker room. So the more knowledge I can give off to them, especially the younger goalies, about our rinks and certain rinks, I think it'll help out pretty well.
So final one for you, opening night is the 21st.
Right.
You got Delaware here, you're opening at home and all that. What are those younger guys going to experience? What are the veteran guys experience on an opening night, especially in a building like this, and when you know the Danbury faithful is going to be packing the place?
Well, I hope that the Danbury faithful will be rocking. I remember my first game in Danbury last year in November, and I was like, wow, these fans are nuts. But you know, I think they're going to have a little bit of nerves the first couple of shifts, but I think they're going to settle in pretty nicely. And you know, we just have to tell them, get that first shift out of the way and move on from that and progress throughout the year.
Good stuff. Frankie McClendon, goaltender for the Hat Tricks, opening night, the 21st, right here at Danbury Arena against the Delaware Thunder. Welcome back, and thanks for a few minutes.
Thanks for having me.